Diode.
Welcome back. Still has Factor 90.3 Nigeria info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 10 minutes gone past 5 p.m. Conversation does continue. Thanks for staying tuned. We're discussing some local politics at the moment. Well, 2023 is around. Has beyond just local politicking vis-a-vis 2023 general elections, because the situation, especially with the All Progressives Congress here in Rivers State, does predate any preparations for, or any obvious preparations for the 2023 elections. As a matter of fact, it predates even the last general elections in 2015. And we can't forget in a hurry how the crisis within the party at that time, years ago, led to the APC in Rivers State not being a part of the general elections. A situation I imagine the APC may not want to see repeat itself come 2023. However, some of the issues or in-house fighting that led to that development may not have been completely cleared. Now, quite recently, the party held its local government congresses. I believe it held its ward congresses even before that as well. The state congress is coming up also. And there was some court order stopping the party from going ahead with said local government congresses. However, there was another court, an appeal court in Abuja, I believe, that stayed execution. Appeal court stays execution on high court order stopping local government congresses in Rivers State. And because of the appeal court sitting in Abuja granting a stay of execution, the said local government congresses held this last Saturday, September 4 precisely. I spoke with the chairman of the party here in Rivers State, Isaac Ogbegbulam, quite recently. I think that was yesterday or so. And that he insists that every member, every valid bona fide member of the party was a part of the congresses the party held this last Saturday. However, reports have it that there were some persons or members of the party that did not take part in the local government congresses, those said to be loyal to Senator Magnus Abe and his faction of the party. I've got one of such persons with me in the studio right now to discuss development within the party, the APC in Rivers State. Kingsley Akumefule is a member of the APC in Rivers State, and he belongs to the Senator Magnus Abe faction or camp of the party within the state. Kingsley, good evening to you. You're welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Dio. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's start on this note. Are you a member of the APC? Because in my conversation with Isaac Ogbegbulam, the chairman of your party, he said that every member of, every valid and bona fide member of the party took part in the local government congresses that took place on Saturday. So two questions. Are you a member of the APC, and did you and members of your faction of the party take part in the local government congresses that took place on Saturday?
Thank you, Dio. First and foremost, I am a valid member, a founding member and valid member of the APC in Rivers State. I'm now asking if our party or our faction, per se, took part in the congresses. Of course, you know that congresses is a process. And when that process from the beginning is not fair enough, you cannot just participate in such kind of process. In fact, from the beginning, it was a charade, and there's no how you could have participated in such a charade. How do I mean? You are conversant with the problems of Rivers State APC since 2017. In 2018, some persons paid for these same forms to contest the congresses and were denied participation, and these guys went to court. I'm talking about Ibrahim Umar and others. They sent up through to the Supreme Court, and they got a judgment. And the party, in their wisdom, now said for the first time that those who paid for those funds and were denied that opportunity to participate should come forward with their tellers. And when such tellers are brought forward, funds should be given to them, and they are qualified, they are free to participate in the congresses. And this was what actually played out. Those persons who bought forms in 2018 went to the party secretary as at the time they heard that the Amina who came to sell those forms were in town. Even after so many days she had come to Port Harcourt to give forms to the other faction, they still went ahead to present their tellers, and they were denied collecting these forms. From Wednesday through Thursday, and denied to collect these forms. And at the end of the day, you cannot go to participate in a process that you were not even accepted to participate from the beginning. You have to buy your forms. You have to go for screening, and your names are supposed to be those who are supposed to participate are supposed to be shortlisted. These things were not done. And you want such persons to go to participate so that they will say they have been disqualified or something. They boycotted that process. And of course, local government congresses is an offshoot of the World Congresses. It's a continuum. It continued from the World Congresses. Those who participated in the World Congresses, the aspirants or the candidates who won those elections are automatic delegates. They are delegates to the local government congresses. So if you did not participate from the beginning, you can't just participate in the local government congresses. This was the reason why they felt there is no reason to participate in that Congress. That was what happened. And of course, there was no election here. There was no Congresses. It was a charade. There was no Congresses that happened here last Saturday.
We'll come back to the issue of the Congresses and the matter of forms in a moment, but still talking about membership of the APC. Your chairman, Isaac Agbobudan, said, for example, I did ask him about even the status of Senator Magnus Abe, who is your leader in the party and a stalwart as well. And he didn't give a direct response to that, but he did say that he doesn't have any document that shows Senator Magnus Abe as being a member of the party, and he was speaking post-revalidation exercise. So I'm going to ask you that. Have members of the Senator Magnus Abe faction of the APC, like yourself, taken part in the revalidation exercise of your party, thereby reaffirming your membership of the APC, and especially also here in Rivers State?
Like I said when I started, we are valid members of the All Progressive Congress. During the process of registration and validation, the faction of the Rotimi Amechi people were going from home to home, writing names of those who are loyal to the Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, and we were shut out of that process. And because we were shut out of the process, we wrote to the National. And National, in their wisdom, sent a delegation, an appeal panel, to come and hear us, which they did. And when they did that, we were given that a promise that will be given opportunity. In fact, the National had to reel out in their press statement that they were going to give us opportunities to participate in the registration and the revalidation. But while that was going on, the processes of this congresses set in, and in the guidelines they gave during the congresses, they said those who just joined the party will be given waiver, and those who have not revalidated, most especially Rivers State, should go ahead with the revalidation, with the congresses. Then after the congresses, then they will be given powers to do that. It is the National that will do that. And I now want to ask, if it is not in his powers to now shortlist those who are successful in the congresses, how come it is his powers now to know those who are members of of APC in Rivers State? He was laying claim to a certain notebook that he kept in his house. I wouldn't know. If he said that some persons are not members of the political APC, including Senator Magnus Abe, he forgot to know that recently Senator Magnus Abe was appointed into different committees, not just him, even the most distinguished Senator Wilson Ake and some other persons. First, Senator Magnus Abe was appointed into the legal committee that will look at the convention that is coming up. He was also, as secretary, also appointed a member of another committee. Is it the Special Duties Committee? Now again, they also appointed him a member of the Anambra Election Campaign Council. And I come to wonder how Obegula will now assert the position of the national chairman to himself, knowing who is supposed to be a member and who is not supposed to be a member. I just can't understand that. Senator Magnus Abe and those who are following him are fully, validly members of the All Progressive Congress.
Let's go back to the issue of the Congresses, and especially the matter of the forms, which is a very contentious one. And we'll go back to some earlier news item from our news bulletin for some months ago. The head of the committee, after accusations were made, like you've leveled here and at other times as well, that forms were not made available to members of the Senator Magnus Abbey faction of the APC within the state. The head of the committee for the sale of forms for congresses, Amina Gamawa, denied allegations that the committee for the sale of forms is excluding some party members. I'm going to play back what she said at that time.
I was under instruction to sell forms to everybody, and I sold forms to everybody. I rejected photocopy tellers, and I have no regrets because I'm following the rules of my party. And we gave them so many forms. We worked so hard in the night, and they deliberately did not come for good 5 days.
No, she said most of those protesting presented photocopies of the bank tellers instead of the original copies.
I gave them my guidelines. The condition is that these forms, the people must come with identification. And the identification, it should be either voter's card, name slip, or driver's license. We want to be sure that these tellers belong to these people. And then another rule is that you cannot come with photocopied tellers. Some of them called me and they were saying that I have excluded them, a whole local government. I said, I didn't give because of these photocopied tellers.
Oh, let's talk about that. So are you saying that no member of the Senator Magnus Abbey faction was able to procure these forms when the forms were on sale here in Rivers State, which might imply, based on her position, that all of you presented photocopy tellers and did not produce appropriate identification?
My brother, that is not true. It is fallacy from the depths of her heart.
What is not true? What is not true exactly?
Whatever she has said there is not true, and I will prove it to you. First and foremost, I told you that Ibrahim Umar and others who got a court judgment, and the party graciously said in their guideline that these guys should be allowed to participate in the forthcoming congresses by presenting those their tellers. And of course, you know that bank tellers are very faint. As such, does not last too long. And so these guys, since 2018, had to photocopy these tellers as at then. And these tellers bears original stamp of these banks. And when you have a stamped teller, whether photocopy or not, but you see the authentic stamp of a bank, you should know that those tellers are original and authentic. And apart from that, there are others too who also came with their own tellers, who bought new tellers in bank. Apart from those whose tellers were fainted and they were stopped from collecting the form, some also went back to bank again, paid for other tellers. The thing is, when you have a predetermined intention, a predetermined plan, things like this will always play out. Now, Amina, I don't know how they had to pronounce the full names of her surname. Gamawa, yes, had a predetermined plan, intentions. There was a script already written for her to come to play out. Now, if she had come here to Rivers State to sell funds with the mindset of giving funds to everybody who had paid for these funds, she would have come and announced that she is in town. How would people know she was in town to sell these funds? People didn't know. And before we could know that she had been giving forms to Amechi people, it was almost Wednesday, and she came around Monday or so. It was almost Wednesday. She had given them forms in bulk. Look at this mathematics. We have 319 wards in River State, and each ward HQ is about 28. If you multiply 28 to 319, you have about 8,932 persons. Now, that is just for the ESCOs. You also have five delegates per ward. If you multiply 5 to 390, you also have about 1,590 something persons. Cumulatively, if you add some them together, you have over 10,527 persons. Now, this 10,527 is supposedly to come from both factions. Now, tell me, if ordinary 1,000 persons gather in a party secretariat, won't people notice that there are some persons in a party secretariat? Now, not to talk about 10,000 persons to gather in a party secretariat. How come these persons were not seen? Are they spirits that they could come and now disappear and go home with their forms? Nobody saw anybody. Nobody knew their forms were being given until when the Senator Wilson got to know about this. Remember, a few days before the arrival of Amina Sakai, Senator Wilson Ake, Honorable Barrister Godin Benchoma, and some others attended the formal opening or inauguration of the new party secretariat. Because they are peacemakers, they love peace, they had to attend. In fact, Senator Wilson Ake graciously made a donation of 500,000 naira for that new party secretariat. Now, it was based on this, his gesture, that perhaps Obogula looked at it, that it wouldn't be too right to just play all the hanky-panky they want to play and push this man away. Let me just, form as if I'm also playing around the Senator Wilson Ake. He called him and gave him 100 forms on Wednesday. Now, it was because of this that we got to know that Amina was in town. Now, when our people rushed to the party secretariat, we could not see one person from Amechi's faction. And this person presented their tellers. And this woman resisted and said they must go to bring their ID cards before they collect these forms. Before some persons could go to Andoni, to go to Bonny, Eche and all that, the whole day had gone. The next day they came again, nobody gave them forms. That was the reason why they had to gather in their numbers and gather the press. Now, prior before now, there was a meeting that was held in the house of the former governor.
We'll have to take a break right now. We've got a commercial break coming up. Then the headlines at 5:30 p.m. Discussions will continue afterwards. Please stay with us.
It's all right.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.
When When knowledge meets action, information liberates. How informed do you need to be to thrive in a fast-changing world?
Listen to experts only.
Keep your dial locked on 92.3 Nigeria Info for the best of news, talk, and sports 24/7.
I am listening. Are you?
Our freedom depends on our proactive responsibilities.
Let's talk, act, and be about development.
With one voice, our potential is realized. This is your number one news, talk, and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am listening.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Rumorsi office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817 001 8162. That's 0817 001 8162.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you only on Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts.
Hard Facts with Dayo.
Welcome back to Hard Facts 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dayo. 28 minutes ago before 6 p.m. Discussions continue for the moment. To join by my guest, Kingsley Akumefule is a member of the APC here in River State and also a member of the Magnus Abbey faction of the party. Kingsley, welcome once again.
Thank you, Dayo.
And we're discussing concerns about the party here in River State. The dissensions are still on. Some might even say it's a crisis within the party. As regards, and also all of this is in the aftermath of the just concluded local government congresses which took place on Saturday. A build-up, of course, to other congresses, national convention, and I do believe ultimately, at least in the short term, the 2023 general elections coming up in a couple of years from now. Councillor, with all that's playing out at the moment within your party, do you see the possibility? Even though I did ask our chairman this yesterday, and other party members believe that there are no similarities between what played out in the build-up to the 2019 general elections, and there are no similarities at all. It couldn't happen again. But do you see any similarities between what played out in the build-up to the 2019 general elections and what's happening right now? And do you see a possibility of what played out then when your party could not take part in general elections? Do you see that possibility playing out come 2023 as well?
Dayo, my brother, it is very simple, even to the blind and to the deaf, that there is a similarity between what played out in 2018, 2019, and what is still playing out right away. In fact, almost every one of them, I mean the Rotimi Amechi's faction, whenever you ask them, they say there is no reason. In fact, nothing will happen. You know, their new slogan now is we move. We move. I don't know where they are moving to. Whenever you ask, they say it will not happen. What happened in 2019 will not happen again. It is very simple because of their unholy romance with the president of APC Court. With due respect, Honorable Justice Monica Dombam Mensua. The unholy romance they have with her is the reason for which they can boldly, even before a court judgment, tell you what the outcome will be, and they're telling you what will happen, even right away. But I want to let the Rivers people know that nothing happens to the end. As it continues to happen, God, in His own wisdom, will also make a way of escape. They have had that unholy romance, thinking they have a God now in her. It's very simple.
Your faction is currently in court.
Yes, we are in court.
The substantive matters, I think, had to be heard. It was based on your being in court right now that the court granted or delivered an order, issued an order that the congresses should not take place. Hold on just a moment. And then a stay was given to that order. Of course, the substantive matters are to be heard. What is your faction in court for precisely? What are you asking?
It is not my faction per se. There are persons who paid for these forms, and they are adults. They are adults. They're not babies.
So the matter is still about the forms.
The matter is in court.
Still about the forms.
Yes, simple. If it's in court, yesterday he told you it is in court and he will not discuss about it. But he's a lawyer and he has said so. A lot of things I heard him say yesterday. The matter is in court. But I wouldn't want to discuss justices like they do discuss justices and call them men. But we know that that's an unholy romance. But let me stop there.
Yeah, but you're describing somebody as having an unholy
because
romance.
when you look at the events that have been playing out, whenever you bring a matter to appeal court, the moment that matter gets there, the next thing you hear that they have transported that matter to Abuja appeal court, as if there is a war in River State. Almost all the time, they will ambush the judgment and carry the matter to Abuja. The moment they get there, they will get the judgment they want, or the ruling, or the orders they had wanted. Even before that thing, the orders will be given. On our platforms, on social media, everywhere, they will tell you the outcome of those judgments. We know what is been playing out. But that notwithstanding, we believe in justice. And we know that the God of justice will give justice at the end of the day. That is not the case. And we don't want to dwell on that matter because they have always called justices names. Because the moment any case is against them, they will go all out, insult justices of their people.
Once again, you are accusing someone as having.
Yeah, because there is already. You could see it now. It's not today. I can mention different cases.
Okay, that's you're in the conversation right now. Lines are open 0817 963 0002 or 0003 or 0007. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. On Facebook, Prince Wilwoso goes, no reverse APC crisis is far from over. Alex Owuru Uyavu goes, who should know outside the APC members? Don't tell your guest that the waters have already gone since himself and the misled followers have decided to leave in the line. The matter is over now. They should return on the line or go to other political parties. That's how it is done. Ned Agumagas, Magnus Abe and his people are crying foul every time. Why is it too difficult for them to go to another party? Must they always blame everybody for their woes? Rivers APC has moved on with the Ward and LJ Congresses are done and dusted, and the Ward Exco's inaugurated as directed by the National. We've got Oscar from Abacha Road on the line. Oscar, you're welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Daya, good evening.
Straight to your comment or question.
Yeah, I just want to let that man know that there's nothing like God and justice in politics. All politicians, they lie a lot, so let him not call God. Let him go and align himself with the faction that will win, or that the faction that everybody recognizes with. I don't like that bitterness they are playing there. The chairman was here yesterday, we listened to him. The chairman is the chairman, whatever he says is what we...
Hello, Oscar. Oscar's gone. We got Dana from NT Road. Welcome, please go on. Dana from NT Road, go ahead.
Okay, Dayo, I want to comment the discussion.
Go ahead, please.
Your guests on the studio. I want them to know the APC, they should put their acts in order, because any state where we don't have formidable... are you hearing me?
Go ahead, Daniel.
Any state where we don't have formidable opposition is going to tell on the citizenry. As the election is coming 2023, so they don't want to continue what happened 2019. They should put their heads in order so that we should have options. We should have what to choose from, what is on the ground now, and what they are bringing. So they should put their hearts in order. Whatever they can do to bury bury up the challenges, the log ahead, whatever it is, put their hearts in order, and let's see opposition. Let's see constructive criticism. Let them bring what they have for the masses, so that we can be able to choose and know which way to go come 2023. So let them put their house in order so that we have a formidable opposition in the state. Thank you.
Welcome. Promise from Kokona, you're welcome as well. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening, Dayo. My name is Thomas.
Go ahead, straight to your comment, to your question, please.
Yes, I want to actually appreciate the guest in the studio for his composure and enlightenment is given to the people. You see, Liberals APC, I thought they grant the election. And what I'm seeing is like people who have not learned in lesson. How would you expect the state chairman of the party, who was supposed to be a neutral person, who was supposed to create a platform where party members can come and unite. He's already taking sides and is aware of the crisis in the party. National have at different times set up different peace committees, and the same people is going on ensuring that they don't fit in the party. The National, who knows the value of St. Emmanuel Abbey, has engaged in several activities of the party at the National. So I don't know if the state chapter of the party is bigger than the National, or the state chairman is bigger than the national chairman. This is the only situation where the state chairman can come here and say what he was saying. If we are bigger than this thing, Nigerian and other people have gone beyond this thing where just sit down and begin to imagine what the thing you want to do, and you think you can achieve it all alone. There's no continue to do the same thing and expect to get the same result. Otherwise, we are not ready to make sure this party to do what we expect and what the people expect from them.
Promise good to hear from you. Thanks for the contribution. Back to you, Kingsley. There are those who have persistently maintained, even before now, that if you're members of your camp in the APC River State are not having a great time, and even one or two persons have echoed that position here as well, why not simply leave and go to some other party?
Why would we leave and go to another party?
You left the PDP for the APC.
And who would we leave that party for?
You left the PDP for the APC.
Yes, because we were together then and were thinking that what PDP was doing was wrong.
Is what the APC doing right now, right?
APC, the problem we have in APC is right honorable Rotimi. This problem is not about APC, it's about a state problem. River State is the problem we are talking about, not national APC. And the problem we have is just one man who wants to decide for everybody, and he sees nobody as nothing. And you cannot, like Wogubom used to say, you cannot be a slave except you accept to be a slave. No one man can enslave every member of Rivers APC, River State, who are paid with some their lives, some their properties and all that. So it is not possible for anybody to think we can just wish every other person away and be the only person that will be in the party. We are members of the All Progressive Congress. We will remain here and fight this fight. At the end, we will definitely have justice. Somebody was talking about there is no God. If he feels there is no God, he can take it that way. But I think there is God, and he's a God of justice. And at the end of the day, he will speak. And when God speaks, every other voice shall be silent. It's as simple as that.
Finally, if your attempt at seeking justice and following through until justice is served results in what happened in 2019, that the party could not take part in the elections, will your camp of the ABC be comfortable with that?
There is nothing that will make us not be comfortable. The fact is, no one man decides any other person's destiny. As long as one man would want to decide our destiny, we will resist him to the end. That is simple. Until he comes to his understanding that political party is not a private business. Those who are calling for us to leave party, no one person owns a political party. It is an institution owned by those members of that party, not by one person. And because it is not owned by anybody, Ubugula is not the party. Rotimi is not the party. We have come a long way, and Liverpool should know the truth from lies. These people are known for telling lies. Like Ubugula came on your radio and said he has never communicated with Magnus since after the revalidation. And somebody called and said the list for which you invited people for the inauguration of the party, Magnus Abel is number 6 on that list. Why are you saying you have never communicated with Magnus since after the validation? When did you call for that meeting? When was the party secretariat, the new party secretariat opened? You see, people who are living in lies, everything they do is about lies, and it will not help us. Until we begin to say the truth of what is happening, we will not go anywhere. And I want to assure them that we are here. We pin in APC. They said they are we move, and definitely they will move Sunday. Very soon they will move, and we will remain here. We pin here. We don't move anywhere.
We have to wrap up the conversation right now. Thanks to John, especially my guest Kingsley Akumefule, as a member of the All Progressive Congress, and especially a member of the Magnus, Senator Magnus have a faction here in River State. Kingsley, many thanks for your time. Wishing the party the best.
Oh, thank you, Dio.
Got a break coming up right now. Major News Support the Hour at 6 p.m. Open seasons up after that. If you missed out on the matter discourse on the show today, I'll take your thoughts during that period. Please stay with us.